So you want to be an engineer, right? You want to record people? You want to record yourself? You done went and spent all this money on Pro Tools, a microphone, and an interface, and now here we are. You want to know how to record. So you on YouTube and you look up how to record, and then I pop up, and now I'm laughing at you. What up, y'all? This is Wavy Wayne, and you probably new to the channel because you don't even know how to record yet. But welcome. Welcome. I got something for you, all right? I'm going to teach you how to record today. I'm going to show you how to get started. You just got that Pro Tools. You got it all downloaded. You got it installed. Hopefully you installed it right. Hopefully it's compatible with your operating system and all of that. And you're at this point where you see this startup screen on your computer. All right, this is gonna be a quick start video to get you able to record today. In the next couple minutes, you about to be able to start recording. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right, so when you launch Pro Tools, you open up and you get this dashboard. All right, the dashboard is where you're going to actually set the parameters for your session. That includes stuff like bit depth, sample rate, all of that kind of stuff. We ain't gonna even worry about what all that stuff means today. I'm gonna just tell you a couple good things to put it on, and you can go into my older videos and stuff and dive if you want to get real deep into what all the sample rate and bit depth and stuff mean. But we just gonna get started quickly today. All right, you down with that? If you want to get started quickly, go ahead and hit that like button. All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna wait. Cool. All right, so when you first get to the dashboard, make sure that you name your session. You see it's at the top because it probably means that, damn it, it's important. All right, if you don't name your session, you probably gonna lose it. You ain't gonna be able to find it. And what is the point of doing that? So we're gonna name this session, and we're gonna name it My Cherry, because you're about to get it popped. All right, so we got the session. All right, we got a name for it, okay? And make sure that when you are creating this session, you want it to be on local storage. That means it's going to save this session to your local hard drive, wherever you choose. All right, it ain't gonna be on the cloud or nothing crazy like that. We're gonna go right there. All right, now unless you got a session from Wavy Wayne, if you got one of my templates, then you will hit create from template, and we'll talk about that on a whole nother time, man. Make sure you hit up wavywayne.com if you do want a template to help make your sessions a whole lot smoother. All right, now when we go down to file type just chooses what kind of audio file we're going to be using for this session. You know, your boy Wavy, I like Wave. Okay, so we're gonna keep that. That's the default. Now, when it comes to sample rate, we're gonna go from left to right here. Sample rate just basically determines the quality of the file, right? The higher the quality, you can go all the way up to 192 kilohertz or as low as 44.1. Some people will argue that 44.1 is all you need. You know, I don't disagree with that, but I like to record at 48 kilohertz for the most part. Just gives the computer even more information, even though ultimately when we process down to MP3, that's gonna be 44.1 kilohertz, but I like to record at 48 kilohertz. So if you can record at 48 kilohertz, then do that. Every operating system is not going to give every interface, every Pro Tools system is not going to give you all the abilities to record all the way up to 192. So choose 44.1 or 48K. If you go any higher than that, especially for, you know, just doing typical recording, you're probably just doing a little bit of overkill, recording too high, which will ultimately make the file sizes even larger and take up even more space on your hard drive, and then you gotta buy another hard drive. Cool, so let's just go ahead and stick to 48 kilohertz or 44.1 kilohertz. When it comes to bit depth, no question, without a doubt, I always use 24-bit. All right, 24-bit is going to give me the maximum dynamic range that I need for my session. Okay, so we ain't gonna even get into that. Pick 24-bit because I said so. The next parameter that we're gonna go to is the IO settings. All right, IO settings, that simply stands for ins and out, or input output. All right, now when you're starting off, you want to set to the default. So stereo mix is going to be the default no matter what audio interface you have. If you choose stereo mix, unless you have one of these interfaces that's specifically listed here, which you probably don't, all right, just choose stereo mix when you're getting started and you'll be good. I always have the prompt for location checked. That way, when I choose to start my session, when I'm saving it, it will ask me where do I want to save this session, and I like to choose a different location pretty much every time based on who I'm recording. Okay, so I'll go ahead and get that set and hit create. I'll choose my location. We just gonna save this to the documents folder and hit save. Now, when you open up your session, it may look something like this. It may look a little bit different. It may look a little bit like this. Who knows? Who cares? First thing you want to do is open up your edit window if it isn't showing. And you can do that simply by just going up to the window menu and choosing edit, or holding command and hitting equal. If you're on a PC, that's going to be control equal. All right. And that will open up the edit window. This is what the edit window look like. Again, depending on your preferences and settings and stuff like that, your session probably look different. But it's cool, baby, because all we're going to do is a little simple recording. All right. So I have this click track. For some reason it's defaulted in my session. I don't want that click track. I don't need it right now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and delete that. To delete a track in Pro Tools, you just wanna right click on the nameplate and hit delete. Now, you probably don't have that, or maybe you do. If so, you can delete it. If not, don't, whatever. Do whatever you wanna do. Do whatever you wanna do. So let's say I'm going to record to a beat. All right, so if I'm going to record to a beat, what I want to do is first import the beat. I'm going to go up to File, choose Import Audio, and I'm going to pick a beat, you know, some Drake and Lil Baby type beat, or, you know, some Gunna type beat, you know, whatever type beat you just downloaded from YouTube. You pick that one. All right, so I'm in my downloads folder. You see, I got a lot of little type beats. All right, but I ain't going to pick none of them. Let me see, which beat am I going to pick? Gotta pick a beat that I can play on YouTube without it getting copyright infringement. Let's see. When you find a beat, you simply just click on that beat, and what you want to do is hit convert. All right, now if convert is not an option, maybe copy would be an option, but either convert or copy. If you converting that beat from like an MP3 or something like that, it will automatically copy over, but you want to make sure that it's copied. Now, we don't really want to get into the adding beats. We'll talk about that later, but if you can, copy or convert that beat over into your session. Okay, so now I'm going to hit done. Another window is going to pop up asking me, okay, you want to convert a beat, which is ultimately going to create a copy of it. Where do you want to save that new copy? Pretty much I'm just going to hit open here, or save if I'm on a PC, whatever it is. Use current folder, I think is what that says. But it's automatically pointing to the audio files folder of my Pro Tools session, so we don't have to change anything here. I'm just going to hit open. That audio is going to be processed. It's converting now from an MP3 over to a Wave, and I'm just waiting. So now, when the audio import options dialog box pops up, I want to make sure that I'm saving, that I'm going to import this new audio file to a new track. So as long as new track is selected, we can go ahead and hit OK. And my beat is going to pop up on a new track, just like that. Okay, cool. Now, first thing first, when I play this beat, what we're going to notice is that the beat is pretty loud. Most of the time, producers is going to max out their beat. They're going to want it to be pretty loud, and so it can be knocking and thumping and all of that. But that's not going to help us when we come to record our vocals on it. All right. So what we want to do before we start to actually record is turn the beat down some. So many sessions I get with distorted vocals because the beat is too loud, and they end up turning the preamp too loud or screaming over the beat or some nonsense, versus just turning the beat down so that you don't have to distort your vocals. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn this beat down. I'm going to use this fader, and I'm going to drag this fader down and turn that beat down to about -5. dB. All right, I'm reducing about 5 dB off of that beat. Normally that's going to get me to where I need to be if it's maxed out. See, it seemed like it's still a little bit loud because I want to ultimately, when I record my vocals, right, if we're looking at this meter here in Pro Tools, and let me backtrack for 1 second. Now, I don't want to get too technical on y'all, but Pro Tools 11 or 12, somewhere in there, if you're working on these earlier versions of Pro Tools, these later versions of Pro Tools, they have changed their metering, right? So what I've done, since I'm a Pro Tools vet, right, I like the old meters, and luckily they give us the ability to keep those old meters. So I'm going to go to the setup menu and choose preferences, and what I've done here under metering is I have chosen to change my track meters to Pro Tools Classic. Right there. So that I'm using the classic metering system. Now your meters might look different from mine. I don't even get involved with those new meters at all, man. I'm used to the Pro Tools Classic meters and they work wonders for me. They do everything that I needed to do. I don't know what they're doing with all this new nonsense. All right. So if you want the same meters as Wavy, then go up to your setup, choose preferences. Under the metering tab, then just change your track meters to Pro Tools Classic and you'll be here just like me, okay? So when I'm recording my vocals, I like them to peak right around this -6 dB range, right? So if I'm watching my beat meter and it's peaking at that same range or a little higher, then I need to make sure that I'm turning that beat down a little bit less than that. Especially as I'm recording, I want those vocals to be a little bit louder than the actual beat, so. Cool, that's gonna be a good little range for me. And now let's actually go ahead and make our first audio track to start recording. Now, if you notice, I'm switching between the mix and edit windows. Again, the shortcut to do that is just holding the command key and tapping equal. Now, if you're on a PC, it's gonna be Control equal, and that will bounce you between these two main windows in Pro Tools, all right? So let's create a track. To create a new audio track, I'm just going to go up to the track menu and choose new. Now, if you're recording vocals, unless you got 2 microphones and 2 XLRs, and it's going to be a mono audio track. So many times we'll mess this whole thing up and end up with a stereo track for our vocals, and even though there's only one source, and I'm baffled by that, you know. We just got to go back to the basics when I see that. All right, so we're going to get a mono audio track, and then we're going to go ahead and create that. Now, let's take a look at this from the mix window. All right, this section here in our mix window, our I/O section, the input and output section, determines the inputs and outputs for our session. Now, whatever input you plugged your mic into, the physical input that you plugged your microphone into on your interface, that is the same input that you need to make sure is assigned in your Pro Tools session on the track. So since I plugged my microphone into input 2 on my interface, then when I go to my mix window to set the input to record, I need to make sure I click on the input path. The input is at the top, the output is at the bottom, okay? I'm on my input path from my interface to be mic line 2, since that's where I assign my microphone. That's where my microphone is plugged up, okay? The output should automatically default to your main output. If not, just go to the output path selector and you want to choose whatever the main output is. It should have a little speaker icon next to it if that is your actual main physical output, so that you can hear it, okay? You won't be able to record if you don't have an actual active input and output already assigned on the track. So I'm going to go ahead and start to record. I got my mic. The first thing you want to do to start recording is make sure that you record enable the track. So here's the record enable button. That's this little red button. When I click that, I can see what my I can see that my mic is live. If you click there and your mic isn't live, there could be a couple of problems. One, maybe you have the wrong input selected. 2, maybe you have a condenser microphone and you actually need to turn on your phantom power, or maybe the gain isn't up or something like that. It could be a bunch of problems, but if you have your microphone preamp turned up and you have the right input and you have the mic plugged into the right input and your mic is plugged up, man, I've been in situations where the cat couldn't get some signal on the mic and I walked in the booth and the mic wasn't even plugged up to the XLR. Smack yourself, boy. You know who I'm talking about, okay? So here we go. I got my mic plugged up, and I want to, again, as I'm doing my mic check, I want to kind of average around this -6 dB level for my input. Now, most of the time when we're doing a mic check and you're doing a level test, your artist is not going to be singing or rapping or talking at the same level as they are while you're just doing the mic check. A lot of time they lay in mic check, mic check, mic check. So what you want to do is adjust your levels as they are actually recording. Now, it's going to be hard for me to show you this right now, but I want to make sure that I'm adjusting my preamp to be about averaging at -6 dB. Now, you see I turned it up a little much and I started to peak. That's what we don't want, okay? I'd rather you record a little bit low than record too hot and start to get that red on those meters. So we don't want that. So I'm gonna be right about here. And actually, you see, like when I get a little excited, it gets a little bit loud. So I'm gonna back it off just a little bit, just in case I get a little more excited. Cool. And I'm averaging, again, right about that -6 dB level for my input. And now that my track is record enabled, let's go ahead and start to record. A few ways that we can start to record. I'm gonna teach you the granny method first. So the granny way will be to open up your transport window. You can go up to the window menu and choose transport, or you can hold command and numeric 1. That will do it as well. You hold the record button. Well, you enable your record button and then hit play. And now the session is recording, okay? You see that I'm recording in my session and everybody watching this video just learned a lesson. All right, so we're gonna stop that. And what we see here, you see this signal, that's a good, strong looking signal. Now, if those waveforms are looking too small, let me give you an example of that. If I have my wave too low, and then when I rap, then it look like this. And if you got it too loud, it can look like this. Now, I'm too loud. Everything is boxed out. All right, now you don't want that. What you want is a good median level. You want to make sure you got a good, strong signal at all times without being too loud or too quiet in that session, all right? A couple of other ways that you can record. A couple of my favorite ways, my shortcuts that I like to use would be command spacebar. If you just hold the command key and hit spacebar, or if you on a PC, that's gonna be control spacebar. That will allow you to start recording your session. Or if you have the luxury of a numeric keypad, which I love, then you just hit the number 3 and that will start recording your session as well, all right? Once you're done recording, make sure you take the track off record arm, disable that track, make sure you save, and that's it. You can make another track and start recording some more, all right? If you learned something from this video, make sure that you subscribe and turn on the notifications so that you can be one of the first to get all this knowledge that I'm dripping on you, all right? If you need professional mixing services, be sure to shoot me an email or visit wavywayne.com, where you can also find custom recording and mixing templates that's gonna help you to instantly improve your sound in the studio, all right? This your boy Wavy. Thanks for watching. As always, be dope.